Peace and blessings, brothers. I greet you from the wonderful state of North Carolina. I hope you guys are doing well. Listen, guys, if you're wondering what this is in front of you, this is the International Civil Rights Center and Museum. And this institution is located in Greensboro, North Carolina. And that's where I am right now, filming this video in Greensboro. And the reason why I'm doing this, guys, is because it's important for us to think about where we are in relationship to where we once were. Brothers, the civil rights movement was a great moment in our history. This museum reflects it. In 1961, a group of students from North Carolina A&T set off what became known as the sit-in movement. And what they did was basically desegregate a lunch counter here in the city of Greensboro. This is also the place where many activists emerged. People like Jesse Lewis Jackson, who was a student at North Carolina A&T University at that particular time. He was a football player and a student leader, and you know the history. He became a very important figure, confidant to Martin Luther King Jr., and has made his mark in the world of civil rights and human rights. And there are a whole bunch of other stories that go along with this, guys. But here's what I want you all to really think about. So here we are in the 21st century. And in my last couple of streams, I've talked about the crisis that's happening right now in terms of the GOP and its backlash. That is, that the GOP has been effective in state legislatures, particularly in the South and different parts of the Midwest, and putting forward new policies, legislation that would restrict voting rights. And what the GOP is doing at this particular time is not new. It's not new. It's been a part of the GOP's playbook for at least 40 years. The GOP has always been in the business of stifling or impeding the votes of a good number of citizens, Black Americans and other people who don't have the kind of power that they have, those who are not white. And here's the deal, brothers. The present leadership in the Democratic Party, somehow or another, they assumed that when Joe Biden became the U.S. president that this would not happen. They just assumed that the political conservatives would just sit back and just allow the Democratic Party to do whatever it wants to do. And this includes, you know, people like Stacey Abrams, whom I have mentioned, and I've said this in the other video, that the people in this country, the GOP of Georgia in particular, and the conservatives are really intent in shutting her down. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens to her. But here's the deal, guys. We cannot rest on our laurels. We cannot rest on former victories. We cannot sit around and think that one achievement, a major political achievement, whether it be in the 1960s, 1961, 1964, 1965, it doesn't matter, you know, 2020, we cannot assume that this is the end of the story, that somehow or another we are in a promised land. And unfortunately, political leadership right now, much of which has a female face, a Black female face, gets caught up in the moment. And when they get caught up in the moment, they're unable to respond to the playbook, the GOP playbook that is always used against them. Listen, guys, as Black men, we have to be forward movers and forward thinkers. Today, the boat again is in question. And as you all know, the Black man's vote was in question back in 2020. And the Black man's vote was taken seriously for a short period of time. But since the new administration has come in, it has again been taken for granted. And brothers, here's the reality. The vote is very, very important, and we're gonna champion and use the vote in the next presidential election. But the vote is just a tool. It's just one thing in our arsenal of empowerment. Brothers, I'm gonna say this over and over and over again, that black men need power. Black men need power. Black men need economic power. Black men need technological power. Black men need the kind of power that will allow us to navigate this global terrain that we are living in. The old strategies of the past, brothers, are simply that, old strategies. They're not going to take us forward. Black liberals, black women, they're stuck in a political matrix. They continue to recycle old ways of thinking about politics, old ways of approaching politics. They continue to be negligent about how this political game works. I told you all in one of my previous videos is that this is about chess. This is not checkers. And if checkers is too sophisticated, then think of it in terms of a football game. This is a football game. Politics is football. Politics is hardcore, rough and tumble, NFL level football. And we cannot deal with politics as though it's badminton or some other activity that does not require high levels of strategy and fortitude. Guys, the mandate that we are under, this mandate that involves black men's empowerment, black men's agency, and more importantly, black men's independence, demands that we think in the future, that we are 10, 20, 30, 100, 1,000 steps ahead of everybody else. Honor the past, brothers. Remember what came before us. Remember the glory days, but also remember to live in the present. Take care, brothers. Peace out.